What does it truly mean to make a sacrifice? This is a question that has intrigued, challenged, and perplexed mankind for centuries, sparking philosophical and theological debates. Today, we dive deep into the murky waters of history to discover the roots of sacrifice as a concept, delving into one of the earliest depictions of sacrifice in known records. We explore the biblical narrative of Cain and Abel, two characters whose story has been retold countless times across various cultures and eras, resonating with audiences for its universal themes of jealousy, rivalry, and sacrifice. In the beginning, there were Adam and Eve, the first humans as per biblical portrayal. From their unique union, two sons were born: Cain, the elder, and Abel, the younger. These two sons were not merely siblings, but also representations of the primal division of labor. Cain, who took after his father's profession, was a farmer, laboriously working the land, tilling the soil, and reaping the harvest, a metaphor for mankind's struggle with nature. On the other hand, Abel, the younger sibling, was a shepherd. He was the custodian of the flock, the tender of the lambs, embodying a more pastoral, peaceful lifestyle. This stark contrast between the two brothers didn't end at their professions, but manifested in their personalities, choices, and actions, setting the stage for the first recorded instance of fraternal jealousy and conflict. While Cain and Abel were the first siblings in recorded history, their relationship transcends time, resonating with countless sibling relationships followed. They represent the first family, the first instance of sibling dynamics, and the first professions, highlighting the inherent joy, rivalry, and sacrifice that comes with familial relationships. What does it truly mean to make a sacrifice? This was the first family, the first instance of siblings, and the first example of professions. As the sands of time slipped steadily through the hourglass, the dynamic duo of Cain and Abel matured, and in direct correlation to their growth, so too did their responsibilities expand. They both, driven by their inherent human desire to gratitude, made the decision to present offerings to their Creator, the divine architect of the universe. Cain, the tiller of the ground, inseparable from the earth beneath his feet, chose to offer fruits from his land. His offering was a symbol of his toil, his sweat, and his perseverance, encapsulating the essence of his existence, his very soul, as he brought forth the product of his labor in an act of ultimate surrender. Simultaneously, Abel, the keeper of sheep and the tender of nobly chose to present the finest specimen of his herd, the firstborn lamb. The lamb was a symbol of his dedication, his patience, his resilience, displaying a deep, profound sense of sacrifice. His offering encapsulated the essence of his existence, his very soul, in an act of sublime reverence. However, at this crucial crossroad, a clear demarcation emerged. The Lord, with his omnipotent wisdom, found favor in offering the lamb, the embodiment of the best he had to offer. He looked upon Abel's sacrifice with a sense of divine satisfaction, accepting it with a heavenly embrace. Yet in stark contrast, he did not regard Cain's offering, the fruits of his painstaking, with the same level of acceptance. The act appeared elementary on the surface, yet it was a catalyst for a whirlwind of intense emotions that engulfed Cain. This seemingly simple act kindled a spark that ignited a chain reaction, setting forth a series of events that would result in an irreversible alteration in the trajectory of their lives. This act, seemingly simple, brought forth an array of complex emotions and set forth a series of events that would forever change the course of their lives. Cain, feeling the sting of rejection, was filled with wrath, and his countenance fell. This rejection was a grating experience. It sharpened the feelings of resentment and ire within him. He felt slighted, his pride bruised, and his spirit crushed. Not one to seek solace or understanding, he chose instead to nurse this newfound grievance. He allowed himself to be consumed by the green-eyed monster of envy. He let anger seep into his very core. It was seldom that such powerful emotions took root within a person, and in Cain, it grew, gnarling, twisting, and turning, like an age-old tree. It was a tree of bitterness and resentment, its roots deep within him, its branches reaching out, casting a dark over his soul. This tree bore a fruit, dark, foreboding, and ominous, a fruit that was the embodiment of destruction, of the ruin that lay ahead. In a fit of blinding rage and green-eyed jealousy, Cain did what was unthinkable, unfathomable even in the darkest of nightmares. He led his brother, innocent Abel, into the quiet solitude of a field. There, under the vast expanse of the sky, he struck down his own flesh and blood. The earth that he had so lovingly tilled was now soaked with his brother's blood. When confronted by God about the whereabouts of Abel, Cain retorted, "Am I my brother's keeper?" A question that echoes throughout history, reminding us of our duties towards each other. God, in his infinite wisdom and omniscience, knew about Abel's tragic fate. His justice was swift and irrevocable. He banished Cain, marked him for all to see, so no one would dare harm him. He was destined to be a wanderer of the earth, a pariah amongst men. This marked the end of a tragic tale of two brothers, a tale of envy, anger, and loss. So, what does this story teach us? It unveils the significance of our utmost efforts, not exclusively in our tributes to the divine, but in every facet of our existence. It discreetly uncovers the lethal capability of envy and wrath, revealing how these emotions can spiral into unthinkable results. This tale cautions us that our actions echo, that we cannot simply bury our misdemeanors and anticipate no repercussions. In a more profound sense, it encourages us to contemplate the query, "Am I my brother's guardian?" Essentially, the chronicle of Cain and Abel surpasses the confines of mere sacrifice. It's an insightful exploration into the intricacies of human behavior, our decision-making processes, and the routes we decide to tread. This account serves as an insightful mirror, projecting our merits and flaws, urging us to introspect and glean valuable lessons. As we meander through the labyrinth of life, it's incumbent on us to recall the saga of Cain and Abel, allowing it to steer us towards the path of righteousness. It prompts us to offer our best, to stifle the seeds of envy and anger, and to unfailingly acknowledge our obligations towards each other. Let's remember the essence of this story is not just about responsibility, but about fostering an understanding of the bonds tie us together. Let it remind us that we're intertwined in a shared destiny, where each action has a ripple effect on others. The story asserts that we are inevitably connected to each other, reinforcing the truth that we are indeed our brother's keeper. So, as we journey through our lives, let us remember the story of Cain and Abel. Let it guide us to make the right choices, to give our best, to keep envy and anger at bay, and to always remember our responsibilities towards each other. Remember, we are all our brother's keeper.